at 7 o'clock. All those in attendance, please rise for the pledge.
Pledge to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What I'd like to do before we start is, since essentially we have a lot of new members, is to have them introduce themselves. I think that would be polite, starting with Ms. Alberts, who knows.
I'm Eileen Alberts.
Ann Rose Lusky-Latin.
Shirley Chilean.
Kathy Molinaro.
Gary Falkenthal.
Richard Gianelli.
Richard Hawley.
Gladys Cooper. Phyllis Tranzella.
Bob Campbell.
Sandy Steiger.
I welcome you all to the board. Congratulations on your elections. I'm going to start the meeting. Do I hear a motion for the appointment of Debbie Warner as Board of Education reporting clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So it is. Debbie is the reporting clerk.
Can I have a point of clarification before we go on? I want to know if the position of the chairman of the board has like any extraordinary powers over the other board members, and how that.
They get a bigger bonus.
That's not what I paid more. Yeah.
Two sandwiches tonight.
But I mean, as far as adding from my understanding, adding the agenda items onto the agenda, we have to have more than one person second an agenda item on. Does the chairman have to do that? Does the chairman have private meetings with the superintendent, the deputy superintendent during a meeting, and do they hold office outside of, to sway what's going on? What exactly does the, powers does the chair have? If I could just have some clarification on that.
Are we going to have the new board member orientation in January that would answer all of these questions?
Right, but I don't want to give you my slipshod, not slipshod in terms of, it wouldn't be complete. I don't know whether we want to take the time now, but I can defer to Kim, who's the legal representative here, basically give me a brief synopsis to answer your question. Is there anything specifically that powers that are empowerment is? We generally say that they spoke on behalf of the board for us, and whether they have private meetings, we all can have individual meetings. As to how the agenda is made, I'm not 100% sure of that. So could allow Kim to do it if you want to do it at this particular point. But I don't really want to get too deeply involved with this because this is the forum for it.
I think this is an important time to do that.
I can appreciate that, but these are new members, and they are voting for board chair. So I think I think they should be at least advised as to what the responsibilities are.
Mr. Vice Chair, may I offer that training that, unfortunately, through that horrible accident, that pretty much talked about custom and procedure, and that it would necessarily be decided by the board itself how that would proceed. When you get the packet, I think you'll get a little more idea as to how you can or may or may not operate. I think that my opinion from what I learned yesterday is that really becomes a decision of the Board of Education as to how they wish that conduct to be done or practiced.
So then my understanding is that that's something that we as a new board, we're going to decide the role of that chair. So it would not be as previously, has that person previously sat that, or how is that decided then?
Hold on before I let me ask Ms. Thompson, and maybe she can clarify.
Well, I can just give you a very brief overview to say, and you'll find this as we go through time, that a lot of my lawyer answers are yes and no. There are going to be several things that govern the conduct of this board. One is going to be Robert's rules, so the chairman is going to run the meetings according to the rules of Robert's law. And that also provides pretty clear standards for when there can be caucuses, how items are added to an agenda, how they're removed from agenda, when items are tabled. So generally this board follows those rules as governing procedure, and the chairman follows those. your board is also going to be governed by Freedom of Information Act. And you know, we've had some discussions about the parameters of that law. There's lots of restrictions when you have a quorum, whether you have a meeting under the terms of the act, whether you have proper notice of those meetings, what kind of documents may be created, all those kinds of things that are governing also when there may be a break in the action and people may talk outside of this room. So you're going to have those parameters as well. So there's a lot of different factors, and I think within those overarching factors, you may certainly decide on different manners in which you want to proceed, but those two will govern most, I would say 90% of what happens here, if not more than that.
Thank you, Kim. So, I'd like at this time to ask from the floor nominations for the position of chairperson of the Board of Education. Kathy?
I would like to nominate Gladys Cooper.
Any other
Second.
There's a second. Are there any other nominations on the floor?
I'd like to nominate Eileen Alberts.
Second it.
We don't have to do it all in favor, do we? Okay. There's a little thing here on your place setting on your spot here. If you just indicate preference. Pass it to
Six to five vote, Gladys Cooper will be the new chair.
Glad to say you've changed seats once you just. Oh,
Don't hit me.
Now the call for a nomination for the office of vice chair. Mr. Tevin,
I'd like to nominate Kathy Moreno.
do I hear a second?
I'll second.
The motion been properly moved and second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Are there any other nomination for the office of vice chair?
Yes, please. Sandy? Sandy Zachary?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
The motion has been properly moved and second.
seconded that last motion?
Phyllis. No. Oh, sorry.
Yes. Thank you.
John, this has got to be the quietest film you've ever done.
It is. Give us time, come on. You gotta break into this.
For a five to six vote, Kathy Molinaro is going to be the vice chair.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Now the floor is open for the office of secretary.
I'd like to nominate Richard Hawley, please, for secretary.
Second.
The motion has been properly moved and second. Nominate Mr. Hawley for secretary. Are there any other nomination for secretary? Are there any other nomination for secretary? I will now close the nomination for secretary.
Oh, that's not fair, right?
Can't get out of it now, Richard.
Thank you.
It's like the guy who won 2 years.
Chair cast one vote.
Madam Chair, may I move that the secretary, that we ask the secretary to cast one ballot for Mr. Hawley?
Yes,
Second.
if someone will second. It's been properly moved. The motion was made by Shirley and seconded by Mr. Tabasak. All in favor that we cast one vote for Mr. Hawley? Okay?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all for coming tonight. Before we move on, there's always a tradition for the board. We're glad to see our board members, past board members, and chairperson, all both been present, chairperson of the board, Mr. Leroy and Mr. Fox. Okay? Okay. And we're going to ask Mr. Fox to come forward because we have a little gift for you. Mr. Fox, we certainly have been a pleasure working with you these last couple of years. On behalf of the Danbury Public School, we would just like to say this certificate is awarded to Irvin Fox, Board of Education member 2006 to 2011, an appreciation for your years of service to the children of the Danbury Public School. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Your card. Spent hours.
And to Ms. Leroy, would you come forward, please?
It's a car?
You just told me.
Yeah, it's over at the.
We don't need
bottom,
text.
bottom.
Hey, we took it out
of the budget.
We don't need textbooks, cards are great.
Susan, on behalf of the board, you know, we have appreciated your service and commitment to the students of Danbury. And at times, many times, we always had different opinions, but we all made our decision for the best interest of the children. This certificate is awarded to Susan Leroy, Board of Education member 2003 to 2011, in appreciation of your years of service to the children of Danbury Public Schools.
Thank you.
Other people are not here, Dr. Sam? No. Now we're going to do, before we indulge in our food, we're going to have Flo and Debbie come up. We're going to give you our little Christmas gift from the board.
Thank you for all you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Debbie doing yeoman's work. We thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We certainly would like to thank this Sodexo for planning this great deck out of food tonight. So we're going to enjoy ourselves. We know that the weather's soft today. We don't want to be out too late. So just enjoy yourself, okay?
Okay. Do we have to make a motion to adjourn?
Okay, I need a, thank you. I need a motion to adjourn.
Nice touch.
Been properly moved to second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion so carried.